and grateful day ahead, as well as an abundant month, because this month is a very special one out of all 12 for 26, because this is the one we are all headed out to New Orleans, the International Convention, 8,000 plus in the building. One of my favorite times of the year to go ahead and get rejuiced, get a little bit of juice back into the battery. I don't care who you are. I've always heard it from the greats, from the lowest levels to the highest levels. Events are needed for everybody. They're like the fuel to anybody's gas tank to get some belief, get some experiences in. That's going to go ahead and give a recharge for the next 90 days leading for 2026. So, what is everybody feeling grateful for today? Let's get this chat flowing with some great energy. Grateful to be alive. Grateful for each of you for another day. God shining, poking through. We just had the astronauts. I don't know if you guys saw over in Southwest Florida. We had some astronauts literally taking off to the moon. Pretty cool at 6 p.m. yesterday, all over the news happening right now. And we're taking off here as well. So perfect time to go ahead and get into this topic of taking off to the moon, because that's exactly what we're doing here. So it's good to see you, dreamers. Hope you all had a great start to the week so far. And this is the topic. All roads lead to New Orleans. Even for me, I'll never forget the beginning of my journey. There was a handful of us. We didn't even have money to be able to afford to get inside of the event. In fact, we didn't even have money to be able to fly. So a couple of us, we sardine packed out the car, drove all the way across country, and we actually had to sneak inside just to be able to get to the event. I'll never forget, we had $1 taped to the steering wheel, and we wrote 6 zeros after the dollar so we could manifest and really see the $1 million vision as we're listening to audios the whole drive over there. We get over to the hotel, and there's like 6 of us sleeping on the floors, just doing whatever it took to really make it happen, and just to get around that energy, get around that frequency, get around those that are really winning at a high level, because even at the beginning, it was literally ingrained in us. If you spend money to invest back in your brain, whether that be audios, books, or even events like this, eventually that knowledge can come back and be able to fill up your pockets. Because in fact, it's even biblical. When you look in the Bible, God talks about he didn't look to remove any of his doubt and anxiety. You know what he wished for? He wished for wisdom. Because with wisdom, and apply it correctly, anything is possible, right? That's why every single day I never miss a call saying the same thing. What we can see in our mind, we can hold it in our hand. Ethan, what's going on, brother? It's good to see you. But that's as real as it gets. I can tell you, I've seen literally individuals who are homeless, sleeping outside with a kid, with literally a 3-year-old. He has no money. He's literally spending his last change, his last couple of dollars. Appreciate you, Ethan. Much love, my brother. Hey, this is the channel to be able to grow, level up, and increase your network for 2026. So here's a story, right? One of my mentors, broken homeless, living out of his car. He had his son sleeping on the streets with him. In fact, if you guys want to see the video, shoot me a DM on Instagram, Define Dreams, and I'll go ahead and I'll send it over to you. But imagine that. He's spending his last dollars, his last bits of change to be able to go and cash it in over at the store just so he could pay for diapers, okay? Now, all of us have been through some pretty crazy situations. I was homeless, living in my car, $30K in debt with no job, as I was watching and studying these videos. And I watched his journey, and over the next handful of months, guess what happened to him? What do you guys think that happened to this individual who was struggling, got evicted from his place? Plugged in with Wheeler, my man. It's good to see you, David. So, hey, I'm talking about a really impactful story. One of my mentors, he had his son. He was broken, homeless. He's living on the streets. He had no money. And I watched his journey over the next handful of months. What do you guys think happened over the next handful of months? Okay. Well, guess what? He went from struggling. He went from down and out. He went from all of his friends telling him that what he was doing is a scam. He's never going to make any money. He's never going to be able to impact anybody. Well, guess what? 6 months later, he wasn't making $100,000 a year. He was making $100,000 a month. And it went on to show me that it doesn't, he's actually from Philly, and I come from Philly. And I remember looking at these videos, I'm like, man, if this kid can do it coming from where he came from, there's no way that I can't do it as well. Because we can make all of the excuses in the world. But when you actually find mentorship, when you actually find the belief in yourself that you can actually go and achieve something great, life starts to move in your favor. Life starts to actually start to bend in your favor. So I can tell you right now, if you have abundant dreams, if your dreams don't make people laugh, they're not big enough. You know, I learned the same thing starting out. I was telling all of my friends, hey, I want to be able to travel. I want to be able to impact all of these lives. I want to be able to live an abundant life. And everyone's like, D, you're homeless, bro. You're 30K in debt. You're not going to be able to do anything that you're talking about. So here's the reality. Here's what I noticed along the way. Most of the time, all of us, you and I, we are going to make more money with strangers, people that we don't know, than people that we actually grew up with. And David, we got David on here. I've never met David in my life, but we're actually growing and we're utilizing this mentorship together. Teamwork makes the dream work. So at the last piece that I could give you guys when it comes to leveling up for 2026, if it's not going to this event in New Orleans, find a way to invest into yourself, whether that be with books, whether that be with audios, whether that be with tell you, it's the people that nobody imagined that ends up doing what nobody. If you guys are ready to level up, if you're ready to take that step, I'm here for you step of the way. Look at my Instagram. Follow this social media for the next 90 days, and you're going to see countless testimonies, so many people winning because we found a blueprint that as long as you're coachable, you're open-minded, you're willing to learn, you're willing to go ahead and go through the trial and error and develop thick skin. If it was easy, everybody would do it. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that it was easy, that it is easy. It's not easy, but it's simple. It's a simple system that with consistency compounded over time, I can tell you the results are inevitable. There's only two things that happens here. You either become successful or you quit, right? David says, I'm into my audiobooks heavy, and I'm going to tell you right now, that's needed. Because if we're not listening to audiobooks, if we're not listening to success, we're going to be left to our own mind. And write this down. This fact changed my life. Most of us, we think the same 60% of thoughts every single day. And 80% of those thoughts, most of the time, happen to be negative. Think about it. The people at work, most of the time they're talking about misery. We come home into problems. You can take time, especially in the morning, to be able to go ahead and pour into your cup just like I do, right? This is huge. I realize what happens when I don't. So we can go ahead and pour into other people, because without pouring to yourself, that's like trying to pour into others with an empty cup, and we wonder why we feel drained, because we're not pouring enough into our cup. So EEDU music, what about smoking? Hey, whatever you do, that's up to you. But the biggest thing I could tell you is ask yourself, have I been productive the last 90 days? Have I been productive the past 24 hours? So Ethan, I appreciate you, brother. Definitely shoot me a DM. We're about to wrap up here. But again, if you guys are looking for mentorship, if you're looking for a blueprint and a system of a like-minded community that's going to push you, shoot me a DM. I've got your back all day. If nobody told you lately, let me be the first to tell you on a Thursday, I'm proud of you. I appreciate you. I see your greatness and know that the best is yet to come. And as always, we can be, do, and have anything we can hold in our mind. We can hold it right here in our hand. Much love, fam. Let's go out and turn these dreams into reality. It's game time. Let's go.